Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Warlord event, week 11, day 4. So today, of course, we got the class event for the Sorcerer hero class. Pretty bad hero class, but because that is so, a lot of people probably don't have it leveled, so you can go get some free XP on it today. Ideally, as is per usual, it is not really worth doing beyond round 4 and not really spending any gems on this whatsoever, because tomorrow you'll have plenty of things to spend gems on, because Bounty Hunter is in, as you can see, 6 hours and 50 more minutes. It is another Carecroft troop, which will be another star for Carecroft, as mentioned in the Monday video, but that'll be another star. I believe it's 17 stars? Yes, 17 stars. So that'll bring Carecroft to power level 17, as in 17 stars, which gives it, what does it give it? It gives it, higher tribute chance. Nice. That means slightly more gems per hour. Of course, I'm actually slightly short. The event normally takes 710 gems plus 1 blue orb if you want to get the bounty troop maxed out immediately and just get max points and get it done at a decent speed. So that's generally what it costs, 710 plus a blue orb, or you could just spend all the gems to get it maxed. However, I believe that costs you a little bit above 1,100, somewhere around there. So it can get a little pricey doing it that way. You save about 400 gems by using a blue orb instead once it's upgraded to legendary. Make sure it's upgraded to legendary first or you're wasting your blue orb. But other than that, yeah, we also got a new mythic tomorrow. The new mythic's probably going to be dead content. I would not advise going for it. I highly advise not trying to get this mythic. However, we will, and we'll go over it and go from there. But we'll still cover a video and everything for it as per usual. But yeah, it's pretty bad. It is very, very, very bad. Unless they did like a shadow buff to it right before it gets released, it's pretty much dead content upon arrival. And the other Mrs. Skills mythic, oddly enough for Yali, while generally pretty bad, is actually better than what's coming out tomorrow in most situations. So, or at least it's more usable because it does more unique things. Mostly the best poison in the game for an extra turn. So it has that kind of going for it. Very situational, but at least it's something that it has. Whereas this thing has pretty much no purpose from what I can tell compared to better damage outputs. It loses its turn. It doesn't have any kind of follow-up. Doesn't have any kind of mana accumulation. It doesn't look that great for what is an automatic lost turn for 24 mana cost. And doesn't even have particularly good traits. So overall, probably a big skip for the Mythic tomorrow. I'll still go do the key opening. I'll still go and mess with teams. And most of tomorrow morning stream will be messing with Bounty Hunter when we get around to that. But anyways, tonight, let's go and get our 25 gems from Sorcerer class. If I'm not mistaken, we also have Warlord event finished. So if I go claim our rewards over here, we do have a major blue orb, right? It's definitely a blue. 100% blue. Go. That is not the color blue. Unfortunate. So we got a useless orb there. But, of course, Warlord event completed. But, anyways, let's go, let's start clearing out the Sorcerer event. What team did I mention? I believe I mentioned Black Manacle into Triple Wall of Thorns. That is exactly what I mentioned. Okay, let's roll with this. For the earlier battles, you might even want to use the Black Manacle in first slot. For the later battles, you, of course, want to switch it up to what we have it as right now. And by later battles, I mean, like, after the second battle. It gets pretty early where you have to switch it. Or by second battle, I mean second set. But for now, we'll switch the banner to the other thing and just copy-paste it right back in. I need a brown-purple banner here. Anything under that category. I'm also going to change my hero class to Archmagus so we can get a little bit quicker mana as well. We'll do it more into purple for that reason. So we'll do that and change our class to Archmagus. And should be good to go. And then we just need to change our banner back, or we could even just leave it like this. For the earlier battles, it should be fine. Once it stops one-shotting, we probably want to go back to the tentacle wall build. But for now, this should be fine. And it is a Carecroft Daemon restriction. However, Triple Wall of Tentacles works pretty well for that effect. Also, there's one way we could actually speed this up a little bit more for these earlier battles. Let's find anything that has a link into purple and just spam it, because this will help us Black Manacle a little bit quicker. So for the first half, we'll roll with this, and then for the second half, we'll roll with what we have on copy-paste pretty much, except with a different hero class. I just showed it with Sorcerer hero class, mostly because it's a Sorcerer event. Whereas, of course, Sorcerer, unfortunately, even though it's supposed to be a spell-oriented hero class, does not have half-mana start. Why it does not, I do not know. But they did not give half-mana start to Sorcerer. It is very strange, I do not understand why. Also, I didn't even say hello to everyone earlier. Hello, Bill! Hello, Defiant! Hello, Birdleaf! Hello, Marcelo! Hello, Isabel! Hello, Cookie! And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome. Okay, what do we even need here? Let's grab, we'll take some yellow for now. Like we need it, but the area that it cascades down on is good. Gotta be careful. We got a Valraven in play. Let's kill that out just so we don't have to worry about it. As soon as we can take a purple, we pretty much auto win. We have absurdly high purple gains right now. Also, hello, King Rich. Welcome. Okay, what do we need? What do we need? We don't have a good cascade there. We can't get a purple drop. I could try for one, or at least dragging it closer down. Okay, good. He didn't deny us. Let's take our purple. Cast dead. Easy as that. Just need to rush Black Manacle as quickly as we can. We're on a lot of purple gain right now. What are we even at? +8 purple. Oh gosh, our purple is high. +8 purple. That is almost full mana when we surge from 0. Actually, wait, is that full mana from... Oh, that's funny. We have so much purple gain right now that if we take a purple from half mana start, we gain full mana. We have that much purple gain right now. That is absurdly high purple gain. I should be able to one more set like this. Also, I don't even think I'm using magic right now. That wasn't relevant for the earlier part, but for what we're doing right now, it is, because I don't think there's enough damage if we don't have it set to magic. I'm going to go change it. I think I'm set to seasons or something, like 20% to seasons. However, we can get more damage than that. It almost seemed like we're slightly set to magic, because we actually have +4 magic right now from the, not from metals, but from, what's it called? From the, campaign, from the artifact. That's the word I'm looking for, artifact. Well, the campaign's artifact is giving us 4 magic right now. But was it 2 or 4? I think it's 4 right now. Next week, I believe, is the other final one. I'll take that. Grab our brown. And now we're up to 60 damage. And this always gives enough Valraven to get to the 4th stage. If you buy a bunch... One of the reasons why buying a bunch of passes for this is not good is it's inconsistent if you are or are not going to be able to get to the end for 250 gems, and that's already a lot to have to spend just for an orb. The main reason you just want to do the free ones is, well, it gives you a little bit of everything. It gives you some free gems, which is one of the main things to go for, and a little handful of XP. But it actually always 100% consistently with just the free battles will have enough battles, assuming you lose no Valravens and lose no battles, which is generally pretty easy with these easier ones, or the lower end of the battles. As long as you don't lose a Valraven or lose any battles, you will have always 100% of the time enough battles to reach 4th stage completion. 100% of the time. It's never not the case. Which is the slight annoying part about going higher than that. Is it's sometimes you have to buy a whole nother pack, and it's just way too many gems for what little it does. Oh yeah, we have it set so we actually do 1 or 2 true damage every single time we take purple. That's kind of funny. We actually got to kill off of that. You might have noticed it lagged a little bit. It has the same glitch that Yagway does. They still haven't patched it after like 3 years or 4 years. What has it been? They still have not patched that out. That's a bug has existed since lifesteal on traits have existed. So it has existed as long as Yagway has existed. Yagway has existed, I believe, for upwards of 3 years? 3 to 4 years. Somewhere's around there. I forget the exact time he came out. It's been so long at this point. But they have yet to fix that glitch since then. What do we go for here? We'll go for that. And it's dead. White Archmage was 50%. Sorcerer has Purple Storm, Magic Link, and Tree of Knowledge. The main reason is because of how much purple gain we have. We're on +8 purple right now. A single purple, no surge is full mana. Which is a lot of mana. Also, I should have ran, I'm not sure why I didn't. I should have ran, what's his name as my second troop so I have cleanup. Because they both do the same thing except it actually has damage. Because you don't have damage, do you? No. We should have ran with Ancient Horrors. But it is perfectly fine to run Sorcerer. Like, especially if you still need XP for it. Okay, and I'll wipe it out. Good to go. On to the next one. Give us our 25 gems. I believe we have one more set after this. Yeah, battle 3. Oh, wait, never mind. That just might have been the battle in the set. Oh, no, I believe we're on the 3rd set, though. I'll take those purples. Cast that out. Go for another purple, which is just destroyed, unfortunately, because Black Manacle gets worse when it has its thing, as a lot of weapons do. Upgrading it makes the weapon worse, not better. Very weird logic, but that is how almost every weapon in the game is. Well, not all the weapons, but some of like the mid-tier weapons, there's quite a few of them that can just kind of get completely destroyed as far as their effectiveness when being upgraded. But they're needed for kingdom upgrades. And Black Manacles is one of those that actually becomes weaker, oddly enough, when being fully upgraded. One of the most notorious ones is Mang. It's actually the only thing I have not upgraded just because it does get a substantially less effective when upgraded. It's not a big deal if it is upgraded, but they just have this really weird mechanics that just get in the way, which is very, very unfortunate. Mostly the random gem spawn, or in this case the random purple destroy, despite it being the fact that it's the color you need generally when using this weapon. And while yes, you do get a little bit of mana from it, you're more so denying it from yourself. Since most Black Manacle teams are very, very purple heavy, unless they're brown heavy. They're one or the other. But whenever they're purple heavy like this, it's actually a disadvantage with the upgrades it has. Well, there's no way to undo them. And we need them for kingdoms. And we're going to need a lot of them for kingdoms into the near future. We've seen as many as, I believe, 12 fully maxed weapons from a kingdom for some of the really late levels. Those are probably a long ways from now, though, as far as time is concerned. But we are still eventually going to need like 8 max weapons. Actually, I think we already need that for something. 10 max weapons, 12 max weapons. I'm not sure if any of them went to 14, but it might have been. Going to need a lot of them at some point. Meaning even ones that you might not necessarily upgrade, you would need to upgrade. We're still a little ways from that, though. That's always good to be prepared ahead of time. What do we grab? What do we grab? Let's take purple. Get a nice big Black Manacle down. He's going to get revive on that. It's rather unfortunate. I should have really just went Ancient Horror. I'm not sure why I went with these instead of Ancient Horror. Ancient Horror would have been more effective, but the amount of time it would take to replace it out at this point probably isn't worth it for how few battles we have left. Okay, please get Devour. That is not Devour. That is a Scoldo, and that is a dead. Okay, 3 more left. Okay, what do we need? What do we need? Let's go grab our brown. And if anyone has any questions, anything you want me to go over, let me know. And we'll make sure to do so. Because after this, we'll probably go on a little bit of token farming. So I don't believe I got another 150 kill objective today. That would have been nice, but no, I think we just had the standard kill one, which takes like no time at all. Just doing whatever we would normally do would easily get it done effortlessly. Super quick methods like doing low level explore can get it done in like, gosh, like under 10 minutes. Probably even less than that. Well, actually, what is the time on that? So if you can, let's just say you can kill 12 per minute. Which actually you can kill even more than that, but let's just say 12 per minute. What is that then? 7? 8? Yeah, it'd be about 8 times then. So it'd take like 8 minutes or less. If you were just doing like quick kill explore, it would take 8 minutes or less to get your kill objectives. And that's assuming you did nothing but that, which generally you do at least some few other things here and there. Dungeons, adventure board. It's kind of funny. Adventure board on its own is almost all the kills you need. Let's see. I'll take that over. Because if assuming you have the lowest amount, which is 9, 4 per battle, it's 12 per thingy, and then that's 3 of them. So yeah, that's already 1/3 of the total amount, even at the lowest possible amount. We need manas. There we go. Let's take that, I guess. Actually, we could. No, we're not gonna bother exploding for it. And that should be a kill. Oh, also, I almost forgot to mention. I mentioned it on the previous stream, but I forgot to mention it this stream, of course. Oh, we already got over things. Let's go grab them now. 25 gems, and of course you get 50 sorcery XP if you need it, and 10,000 gold, which is pretty small. Obviously, you mostly do it for the gems. I did not advise spending money, or spending gems on these packs. Not worth it. And you can get this weapon just by getting 250 wins on the hero class, plus it's a useless weapon anyways. But you don't have to get it through here. You can get it through 250 wins on the hero class. But yeah, I wouldn't really ever bother going for these tiers. They are way, way, way overpriced for what they give, which is pretty much nearly nothing. Anyways. Oh yeah, but as I was mentioning earlier, The Mario 35 anniversary thingy was today, as far as I'm showing a bunch of stuff, and one of them will actually be doing on the channel. Well, two of them actually. One of them was the 3 Mario games, specifically Mario Sunshine. It's one of my favorite platformers of all time, and I believe it's coming out midway through this month, and we're going to be playing it. We're going to play through the entire game. Not sure how long that would take. I believe we could actually technically get it done in one session. Might take more like 2 sessions. But, well, if we play it for on end, we might be able to get it done in one session. But, yeah, I'll probably do Mario Sunshine and maybe even the original Mario 64. I've actually never completed through the entire original Mario 64 before. Actually, nor have I for Sunshine, though. I got, like, really, really close to the end. However, I never actually owned Mario 64 in the past. So I'll probably do that once it comes out midway through this year, month. And at the beginning of next month, October 1st, Mario 35 is coming out, which is basically a Battle Royale Mario platformer that will be around for like 6 months and it will go away forever. I'm not sure why they're doing it that way, but it should be a lot of fun initially, if nothing else. But yeah, I'll be doing both of those when they come around on the channel. Anyways, in other news, let's go finish out dailies, which will also give us our kill count. Oh gosh, we got useless epic shards. It's like the worst one there. And it takes away from one of the higher other rarity ones. Like, there's so many better epic ones. Like, I'd much prefer to have 4 deeds. I think everyone would prefer to have 4 deeds there. Instead, that's such a pitiful reward there. We'll just run with this. Doesn't even matter too much if we change the weapon out. It'll do what it needs to do. Should be fine. Should be perfectly fine. And hello, Corey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we'll just go for some standard one-shot Rowanes. So we're getting up there on XP, 21 more levels, and we get an extra stat for our hero. There's only 5 of them that we're missing at this point. One for 1,600, 1,700, so on and so forth to 2,000. And then we basically have max hero. Also, level 2,000 is theoretically considered max level, even though it technically still keeps going higher. As far as completionist things are concerned, 2,000 is technically max level in the current state of the game. Because you don't really gain much of a benefit from going any higher, even though it is technically possible to go higher. It's mostly just a cosmetic change, more so than actually any kind of substantial benefit. Whereas up to that point, you technically still keep gaining stats. What do you suggest? Keep using D to upgrade the kingdoms up to level 15, or start saving deeds to craft tomes for the magic kingdoms? We have to kind of wait till next campaign before we really know for sure. Next campaign will kind of give us knowledge on that. The main reason I say that is mostly because of the campaign is going to be telling us how many of the book lore, whatever they're called, those big books that basically count as 50 deeds. They'll basically be telling us how many of those we're getting, if they're adding Imperials to the set or anything else like that. Because there's a few things that they are confirmed that they're going to be adding, as well as things that are very likely to be added. One thing that we have already had that was confirmed to be added is they are going to be adding at least one of those new book deeds to the free side and the paid side. How many exactly will be on both sides, we don't know. However, based on their wording, at minimum 1 will be on both sides. Aside from that, we don't know if they're going to add Imperials. And oddly enough, even though it's not related to the deed things, we don't know if they're going to add an Epic Vault Key. Because, of course, that's a new resource that now exists, which would work kind of perfectly in a Battle Pass system as a big loot to kind of incentivize going further. So we don't know exactly how many we'll actually be getting from that as far as deeds. So, not from the Epic Vault Key, but, you know, from the, I'm not sure why I brought the Epic Vault Key. It's just kind of related to the pass. But, yeah, it mostly has to do with how many of those really big deed book things we end up getting in next pass. We know at least one is on both sides. However, it is very likely more than one are on both sides. However, we don't know what that exact number is as of now. And we won't know until next campaign rolls around in like 5 weeks. Because we got this week. Wait, how many weeks do we have left? So we have, what campaign week are we on right now? I think it's 7, right? So we have, where's the campaign thingy? So we're on campaign week 7. So next week is 8. So then 9. Then 10. Then a week off. So I was right. And then 5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks. 5 Mondays from now, we will have next campaign. And at that point, we will kind of know what the deed situation is. So I cannot properly answer that until 5 weeks from now. 5 Mondays from now, I should say. But 5 Mondays from now, we'll have more info on that. As it currently stands, I would just say kind of save your deeds, because we don't know what the situation really is until then, as far as how this thing is scaled and all that. But I would say hold the deeds for now, unless you're within range of getting a level 15 Magic Kingdom, in which case obviously go throw those down if you haven't gotten your 4 Magic Kingdoms yet. As far as going beyond that, I would hold. I wouldn't craft any books yet, like any of those bigger books, because we don't know exactly what the situation is until 5 Mondays from now. Or unless they tell us publicly prior, which is very unlikely. That is exceedingly unlikely. But, yeah, we'll find out in 5 weeks, 5 Mondays. I forgot, this is the harder battle, so we actually won't be able to one-shot it, will we? However, we will win if we can get Rowan back to full mana. Problem is getting Rowan back to full mana. Oh gosh, how much damage did that do? Oh no, we can't kill now. No! That just made it so we can't kill. What a fail. Imagine losing this battle. We're getting really close. Luckily we could just Rowan kill that dead. Yep, no problem, Marcelo. Also, hello, 02! Do we will get more weapons like Mang, for example, at 200 red blue? No. As it currently stands, the last weapon you ever get based on hero leveling is I believe 25 all colors, 50 all color, I forget. It's whenever you get Imperial Jewel. Imperial Jewel is the last thing you ever get. I believe it's 25 all colors, I forget. It's like 25 or 30 all colors or something. But it's like the round 200 or so, your level. Somewhere's around there, give or take a little bit in either direction. But somewhere's around there is the last weapon you ever get. There is no weapons beyond that as far as levelage is concerned, at least in the current state of the game. Of course, that could change, but as it stands right now, Imperial Jewel is the last weapon you ever get. And I believe it's around 25 all color or 30 all color or 50 all color. I don't think it's that high, but I think it's 30 all color or something. Somewhere's around there. 25, 30 somewheres. Oh, it's 20 gems all colors. Okay. Oh, that's even earlier than I thought. But yeah, that's the last weapon you pretty much ever get. Unless you spread them all evenly, in which case all the ones that you get around like 30 or so is when the last ones you get. But you get them all like way before like level 300 hero class. Like you'd easily by that point have every single weapon in the game that is obtained by leveling your hero. However, you don't get max stats for your hero until 2000 level. Even though you get every weapon by like 300, even less than that. So the difference is pretty large, obviously, numerically. You get all the weapons by like 300, even earlier. But you don't get max stats till 2000. So you get a good majority of the stats by 1000. However, all of them are not obtained until 2000. Though there isn't that big of a difference between like 1000 or 2000 hero. It's only a 10 stat difference. But of course they add up. Like ours right now only has 5 higher stats than a level 1000 player. So not really that big of a gap at all. You might barely would even notice. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Cleared out dungeon, cleared out that. I think we're good to go then. Let's go hunt for our tokens. We got a Nisha Anu last night, which was pretty cool. Hopefully we can keep up the good streak today and find ourselves another Nisha Anu tonight. Very doubtful, but you never know. Also, I think I'm running the wrong metals, aren't I? Need to switch to seasons with 20% mana start. As long as we're rolling that, should be good to go. Give us our purples, please. Thank you. And a nice big destroy. I didn't take it for an extra turn because we get an extra turn guaranteed if we have 13 plus 13 plus red on the board. So you don't need to worry about that. Oh, you have immune? Oh yeah, you have impervious. You have immune to everything. Or pretty much everything. So, hello, Stat. Hello, Alexander. Welcome, welcome. Glad you could join us again. Yeah, new Mythic and Bounty tomorrow. Bounty Troop's not that good. Actually, both of them are not that good. Even though we have two things going on, they're both pretty lackluster, unfortunately, but we'll still go over them as usual. A little bit unfortunate. Well, we do get dead content here and there. Nothing else. We have a bounty hunter to go and grind and get a bunch of resources from. Oh gosh, I keep forgetting I have impervious. And of course, if nothing else, the Mythic counts towards upgrading. It gives us something to kind of build with, though. I don't really see a single situation where you'd bother going out of your way to put the new troop that's coming out tomorrow into your team. It has really high inconsistency with what it hits. and it wastes a turn. You don't get any board control, no extra turn potential, no nothing like that. Which is always concerning when any Mythic has that, but let alone one that barely even has a good ability. Like, if something has such a good ability where it can kind of nullify that fact that it doesn't have anything like that, then that can be okay. For example, Catches the Bull is a pretty good example of that, or even Phoenicia for that matter, where their ability is, it doesn't have any kind of board control and stuff, which holds them back quite a bit. However, their ability is just so good already that it kind of justifies not having the extra turn. However, this Mythic is not the case. It does not justify it not having it. The other big issue with this Mythic too is it doesn't upscale. The only thing it could theoretically ever upscale with is magic. However, there's no proper way to really upscale with magic, because magic buffing is rather rare in the game. It's not as easy as buffing all the other stats. Like, all the other stats can be buffed relatively easily. Magic, not so much. Oh, no good tokens yet. But we still got a little bit. Oh, that's not what difficulty I want. Oh yeah, we had that weird objective where we had to do like explore 6 or higher. I think this week it was like explore 8 or higher. We just did it on 12 because why not? Oh, 4 more blue majors for Zugov. Congrats. Very nice. Well, we got Bounty Hunter tomorrow. There's 2 major orb chances. Well, it is very unlikely that both of them will be blue. You could theoretically get 2 major blues tomorrow. Actually, it's the best way to farm major orbs in the game consistently without needing to make leaderboard, is Bounty Hunter events. For 710 gems, you can buy basically 2 major blue orbs. Or, not 2 major blue orbs, I mean 2 major orbs, which can be potentially blue. Obviously, it's not guaranteed. But it's your best chance at getting blue orbs is on Bounty Hunter weeks. They're always worth doing for that reason. Even though you can potentially lose value by doing a Bounty Hunter, which we actually have done like once or twice. It's very rare, but it can happen. You kind of do it because of the risk, or you know, try to get the reward of something like a blue, major purple. There's quite a few good drops in there that can make it all worth it. And of course, you get a maxed out troop along the way as well. How much is 1 white orb in gems? It doesn't technically have a static value. However, in the current state of the game, power orb is worth like 10,000 gems or something. I believe most leaderboards to actually get a power orb these days are around, like, at least on PC and mobile. It might be a little bit cheaper on console. But I believe it's normally around 6,000 to 10,000 gems or so, within that range, plus all the amount of time that you have to allocate to actually do whatever the objective is on the given event. But yeah, I believe it's normally around that threshold. I know we would have to ask who's on leaderboard right now for the current event today. I'm not sure if anyone knows them. Where did he go? But if anyone knows Dexter, ask him how much he spent today. I'm pretty sure that's around upwards of 6,000 gems. Pretty sure. Though class events are probably the best time to try farming for it. Especially if you don't have the hero class maxed, but even if you do, well, especially if you don't, because you'll get a max class out of it pretty much for free alongside of it. You know, Dexter? Could you ask him how much he spent to get first place on the event? Would be very helpful info, thank you. But I assume that's around 6,000, if I had to guess. Well, we can kind of break it down based on battles, actually. Hold up, I forgot. We don't need to base it based on points. We can do it based on battles. So, okay, he bought the power 10 times. Oh, okay, you already know. So what does that come out to then? 10. Oh, that's actually not that bad then. That comes out to math. Actually, we could do it. We don't have bought any of them yet. 100, 250, 500, 850, 1,000, 350. And then that's 10 times. 1,000. What did I just say? 1,350. So yes, I was right. It cost him 6,350. So when I said 6,000 to 10,000, I was right. So it's around that range. He's on the other leaderboard too. Is he really? He's actually holding both of them. That's pretty amazing. But yeah, if that's the case, he spent 6,350 gems to get first place for this leaderboard. So yeah, it's around 6,000 to 10,000 for a power orb. It depends how contested the leaderboard is. But it's anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 gems plus the allocated time to actually do it is what a power orb is. So even if it costs 8,000, it technically a power orb is worth more than 8,000 in the sense that you have to actually put the time in to get it, and whenever you're actually, you know, trying to farm for it. Because obviously it takes a lot of time to actually do that many battles. Though not necessarily, because you could just kind of wipe with one full AoE over and over again very quickly. But it still takes time nonetheless to do all that. But yeah, Power Orb is anywhere from 6 to 10,000 generally. They're pretty expensive. I've never actually gotten a legit Power Orb, or as in getting it from a leaderboard. I've only ever crafted my orbs into bigger orbs and then making those bigger orbs into a Power Orb. I have never actually specifically gotten a Power Orb drop on my main account, though rather ironically, my Nintendo Switch account, which is under level 1000 still, ever so barely, actually has 3 Power Orbs, all of which has gotten from leaderboards. But it's mostly because at the time the Nintendo Switch leaderboards were exceedingly uncontested, and we were able to go with like multi-way ties in the best guild in the game at the time. So yeah, we were kind of able to do that a couple times before it started to get really, really time-consuming to do so. So yeah, we were able to do that. How many can you craft now? I believe I have 4 Power Orbs. I have half a Zugoff if I wanted to make another Zugoff. But no, I do not have enough to make it a whole nother Zugoff. I have 1.5 Zugoffs. 1 Zugoff and enough resources to make a half, though I have no intention to ever make a second Zugoff. Hello, Chad. Welcome. Been doing pretty good today. And hopefully tomorrow we'll get lucky on the Mythic. I'm ideally wanting to hope we stay above 1,000 gems, especially on a Mythic this bad. However, we've done really bad on some of the bad Mythics, quite ironically, like Amnesia. Amnesia, I think, was one of the worst drop rates we ever had for one of the Mythics. I really hope the one that we get this Friday, or tomorrow, I mean, won't be as bad. We'll cover a video for it probably in the morning. Depends when I decide to sleep. Pretty much depends when I decide to sleep. I'll actually try getting to bed a little bit early tonight. And just wake up early to record it or something. That or do the inverse where I stay up late tonight, record it then go to sleep. I'm not sure. I'll probably go to bed early and do it that way. Just get it done first thing in the morning. I'll throw that down for now. Would it make sense to have 2 Wild Queens? No. Wild Queen is generally something you would not use 2 of. She theoretically could be used to 2 of. I would not advise it, though, and I definitely wouldn't go out of your way for it. If you happen to randomly get a second Wild Queen, then I guess maybe you could run it. I wouldn't go out of your way to get a second Wild Queen, though. She doesn't really have much of a purpose as 2. I don't think I've ever bothered using 2 of her in a team. Normally one of them is enough to loop into herself, and generally when you're using her, you have another green anyways, like Leprechaun or something. So you don't necessarily need like a whole another Wild Queen. You just put the green into that. Hey, Mrs. Scales. You have a new Mythic coming tomorrow. Which means the final battle can actually be 2 different things then. Instead of just Uriali, it could be Uriali and whatever the thing is called. I should forget its name. I should probably go figure out how to pronounce it. I should probably go figure out how to pronounce it before I completely butcher it for tomorrow's video. That'd probably be funnier if I completely butcher it, as usual. Do you have a bounty team that you run all the time? I change it up slightly depending on what it is. However, tomorrow we're probably going something along the lines of, obviously always Turgraki, but basically Turgraki just with a bunch of red mana accumulation or brown mana accumulation. That's basically the team we run every single time. The way we specifically run it can change depending on what the new bounty troop is. However, the new bounty troop that we got this week is probably going all the way to last slot because it is so useless in the context of winning quickly that, yeah, it's not going to be that good. Plus, it has a summon, so it kind of makes sense not having it in first slot as well, because worst comes to worst, you can use it as a backup summon method in order to not die. It actually has a really good survivability mechanic if you do find you're struggling occasionally in Bounty Hunter. It has a mechanic where it gets to summon a random daemon, and this means you can actually summon normal troops when you're using a 4x bounty team. So you could summon things like just randomly getting a Gorgoltha or, you know, any kind of good mythic, any kind of good daemon out there, which are legends and mythics as well. So instead of just being restricted to a bunch of rare bounty hunter troops, you'll be able to go and summon any daemon in the game. It's a 1/3 chance whenever he casts. However, he does have a capability of summoning a pretty wide range of troops to the bounty hunter. It's not really going to be that useful. However, it's going to be a good not losing mechanic, if nothing else, this week. Though I do advise not having it in first slot because it's going to block brown onto Garaki. It would also block, I believe, purple. I believe it's brown-purple are the colors of the next bounty tomorrow. I'm probably going to run like Excavator, Tagraki, some other mana generator, one other thing. Or maybe something else. I'm not sure exactly yet. maybe a crystal turtle into a Tagraki into an excavator. But bottom line, anything that feeds a bunch of brown red to Tagraki, kill everything with Tagraki. That's pretty much a strategy. And also, if you feel like you don't have enough stats to run it with 4 bounty troops, the best single troop that you can put into your team is a bunch of red spammers with Yagway, and just run Yagway like crazy. It also works really good with Feral Hound if you have Feral Hound maxed out or really high. You can end up using that for Bounty Hunter as well. Really great synergy for Yagway. However, do keep in mind not using a pure bounty team does reduce your score potential. But it is still possible to get all rewards, I believe, on tier 5, even if you only are using 3. At least if you only do it for the later half. What do you think of the team, what do you think of the team Essence of Evil, Forest Troll, and 2 Gob Truffles? It would definitely work. I feel like it might be a little bit slow to start. But once it gets going, yeah, it's auto win. It'll work against pretty much anything. You could even use it for higher level content. It wouldn't upscale the greatest, but it actually could upscale some. I don't know, it really just depends what you're using it for. My main concern with a team like that is I feel like other variants would be quicker. Particularly starting with half mana on everything. But it would still work very effectively. Essence of Evil is a great disable. I haven't been using it much lately though. But it is a fantastic weapon. Still one of the absolute best in the game. Still top 10 as far as weapons are concerned. You get it from 250 wins on Plague Lord Hero class. Plague Lord Hero class is obtained from Urskea. Definitely advised to get that weapon if you haven't already. It's one of like 5 or so hero weapons that are not useless. Actually, it might even be one of the most, if not the most relevant hero weapon that you can actually get in the game currently. I should say pretty much always, because we're not getting any more hero weapons most likely. Unless they're adding a new kingdom or revamping things. But all the hero weapons we have are all the ones we get. What would I rate Mummified King out of 10? You mean that one troop with that weird death mark thing? It's like a 0 out of 10. Unless I'm thinking of a different troop. But it's completely useless. If it's the one I think it is. It even got nerfed when it was already useless as well. During one patch. I'm not sure why they made it even worse. But they did at one point. It was already like the worst troop in the game. And then they somehow made it even worse during a patch. I'm not sure if they did that just to spite me because they heard me say it was the worst troop in the game. Okay, I am talking about the right troop. Yeah, it's like a negative. It's among one of the worst troops in the entire game. I'm not sure if it's the absolute worst, but it's up there. I thought that was purple. Whoops. So you got Wild Queen. What's a good team for a low level I can use to level 12 farm? Also got Sky Hero. Well, you wouldn't need to use Sky Hero with her. But as far as Wild Queen, running something like Hero with Essence of Evil as Titan or something similar, followed by Green Seer, Wild Queen, and one other option like a Leprechaun, would end up working out pretty well. You get Essence of Evil up, throw it down, get it disabled, and what the most threatening thing is, or even just on first slot so they can't do high skull damage to you if you're finding that to be an issue. And then you just go throw that down. It should give you enough for Green Seer between Leprechaun plus Essence of Evil. But you then go and cast Green Seer. If you don't already have Wild Queen, you then get Wild Queen and then destroy everything. It should end up working out pretty effectively. Okay, let's go get this down. And that should be a match if this lands correctly. And it is. There we go. But yeah, Essence of Evil, unless you have another mana generator for it, it's not... It can overblock your mana sometimes. Like on a Gob Truffle team, I feel like it might overblock. For something like Wild Queen, it's fine. Especially if you put like a Green Seer there, because it's going to make up for all that mana. But on something like a Gob Truffle, you generally want your Gob Truffles to go as quickly as possible. And Essence of Evil, in that case, can kind of block it, compared to like running Mountain Crusher or something. Or just something completely different altogether. Let's see. Let's see. The best team they could find was Night Coronet, Luther, Dark Tyrant. Earlier on in the game, Luther actually isn't that bad. Same as Night Coronet. For an early game team, they can actually be pretty effective. I used to suggest them a lot as early game options because they actually are pretty effective. In the current state of the game, I do feel like there's slightly better options, but they're still not that bad. Like Night Coronet's still pretty decent damage for how easy it is to get, while still being a great tank. And the Luther is one of the kind of first things that you get as far as higher rarity from a kingdom. They kind of use for a damage buff. I feel like stat buffing in general isn't really too worth it in the current state of the game, though. But Luther, for its value, does get a pretty solid amount of attack when you're in the stages of the game where you're mostly just kind of taking skulls. These early game does play quite a bit differently, and due to how much differently it plays, Luther in that state of the game actually isn't that bad at all. Later in the game, it'd be horrifically bad, but at lower level ranges, it's actually not that bad at all. It's the first epic you ever get from a kingdom normally, since you have to complete out the first kingdom and then you get the epic. And of course, one of the other good ones that you get soon after is Rowan, obviously, as we use her literally every day. Honestly, I don't think there's a single day that goes by that we don't use Rowan in the current state of the game. Yeah, she's a free kingdom epic that you get potentially within your first day of playing, if you play a lot on your first day. Otherwise, you can get her within easily the first week. I'll throw that down. Assuming you actually go do Forest of Thorns. Obviously, you could just not do Forest of Thorns questline for a while and not unlock it. But do that and you get her. Forest of Thorns questline. You don't have Aberrath or Vashtagon for the event. We didn't use either for the event. Actually, we ran the entire event just running Black Manacle into triple Magic Link, which you can do either off the book or off of Ancient Horror. Doing off the book is slightly cheaper, but Ancient Horror is pretty cheap to begin with as well. And I probably should have ran Ancient Horror for it. I actually ran the other way around, but would have been nice to have those little pokes there, here and there. But no, I literally just run Black Manacle, set as Archmagus, which has half mana start and some extra purple mana accumulation, with a pure purple banner with one other color, like brown, I think it was. And then we ran that with triple purple link from the kingdom. And you can do that either off of a common, which is obviously super low rarity, or off the ultra rare, the Ancient Horror. Yeah, Tome of Eve or Ancient Horror, both the two that have purple link. Either would work. And just run a quick kill Black Manacle. And you can run that pretty much for the entire thing. If you had a very late battles, I guess you kind of couldn't run that. But if you're just doing the free battles, it would very, very easily run through it. I think it might be too many casts if you do it for the later battles. However, you can do the triple thorn wall method, which is what we initially showed. You can do triple thorn wall with a Black Manacle on the back, and that loops its mana a little bit more consistently. And for a longer duration to battle, that would probably work out better. However, if you're just quick killing them just for the free 25 gems, it's probably just better to go for the link. But if you're going all the way, it's probably better to go for gates, especially if you're not going for like potions, but you're going for, or you know, if you're not like mass buying and you're just going for like all rewards or something. So it's not really advised to do that. Class events are really, really bad loot. It's probably one of the worst ways to use your gems actually in the game, is on class events. It's a really big resource sink that overly sinks relative to what it gives. A good thing I checked the board instead of casting. Actually had a good location on there. No, I didn't send Kafka a message yet. I'll go message her on Discord. I didn't open Discord on my other computer yet today, but I'll go message her later. I might be able to get codes this weekend. Good old codes. Reflection of Good can sometimes replace out Essence of Evil. It depends on the team. Some would much prefer Essence of Evil compared to Reflection. However, if you're using a more skull-oriented team, you could pretty much exchange them one for one. Because on a skull spam team, reflection can be about as good as essence. However, on some other variants of teams, essence is not replaceable. Thank you for that, Franklin. Up to what tier should you purchase? 0. If you're talking about the class event, you should buy to tier 0. Class event is super overpriced for what it gives in return. So we got a Glory Gnome. I haven't bought the class event for like over a year or something. Some kind of absurd amount of time. Actually, I might have for one of the hero classes I was finishing maxing. Aw, I only got 200 glory. Hey, we got Nanu. Nice. We actually got at least one good token out of the stream. It doesn't beat out the Anu Nisha we got yesterday in a single chest, but still good. Also, Zolkari is getting an annoying 25% revive soon. I mean, 100% revive. It's going to be the second kingdom that has 100% revive. Next faction is Zolkari related, if I'm not mistaken. And it's getting 100% revive troop, which is very, very annoying. Currently, the only kingdom that has 100% revive troop is Groshnok. But now they're adding another one, which is going to make Zolkari also one of the worst kingdoms to ever explore in. Not yet, though, but it will be very soon. Which is very, very, very unfortunate. Because I believe it's actually one of the lowest durability ones. Or among one of them. Salty normally streams on Monday nights, right after our stream. I believe she went over the most recent Mythic that's coming out this Friday. Because she has the dev build of the game, so they can show things before they're actually released. There we go, dead. Do I run that Wild Queen team with Titan? Which one? The Green Seer one I mentioned earlier? Yeah, you can run it with Titan, Wind, and Rage. It would be the safest option you could put up there. What you really run just kind of depends on what you want to do with it. Like if you want to go more offensive or more defensive. But Titan's a nice middle range, which is why I normally mention it. But I don't know, it really just depends what hero class you want to use. But obviously a skull-oriented one. Obviously only skull-oriented hero classes are used with Wild Queen. Because you wouldn't even need to feed into a bunch of purple because you generally feed into her green, not her purple. So you wouldn't need something like a Sorcerer. I mean, you wouldn't need something like Archmages. You would normally go like Titan or Slayer or Archer or Assassin. It really just depends which way you want to play it and what you have upgraded or what you want to upgrade as far as levelage. But anything that's skull-oriented that's not dependent on burn works really good in any Wild Queen team. Yeah, she's in Soulforge this week, isn't she? I never did like do a video this week or kind of go over that extensively. Should have mentioned some on Monday. There's like one main team I tend to use though. And it's a Guild War oriented one. Well, we always show them during Guild Wars, the 3 teams that we have. But the one I really love using for Guild Wars is Zugoff, Green Seer, Wild Queen, and Leprechaun, and that is pure color. It's pure color purple. And of course, you can tweak that team ever so slightly to make it into a non-pure color team. And also replace out Zugoff for hero, of course. So that it doesn't use a really high rarity thing that isn't Wild Queen. Because that team's pretty low rarity otherwise. Hero in first slot, Green Seer, Wild Queen, and Leprechaun. Because that makes that team way cheaper at that point. Just by that small change. And also makes it not pure color. Assuming hero just gets to use whatever. So of course you could still play that out with pure color if you needed it for Guild War. Which is of course one of her main purposes, of course. One of Wild Queen's best uses is for purple, brown, and green Guild War days. Of course, she can be used for pretty much anything. She doesn't upscale exceedingly well, though she can partially upscale. But she doesn't go to like 500 delves or something like that. Like she goes up to like maybe 200 delves, pet battle, stuff like that. Like she generally does not do really, really high level delves, though most troops don't. Let's see. But yeah, if anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. I'll make sure to answer them all. And I think this will be the last chest we go for tonight. You chose to craft Wild Queen over Ferris Raw. Really hope it is worth it. It generally is. You probably won't notice its full value until Guild Wars because, gosh, is she overpowered for Guild Wars. But I don't know. It depends what you really use her for as far as PvPs and other small battles here and there. She's used as a skull utility, of course, mostly. That can loop into herself. She's one of the only few skull spammers in the entire game that can actually loop into herself, which is one of the reasons why it's so good. It's also why Divine Shpala was so good and they had to nerf her mana start because she was so good at looping into herself. Any skull spammer that does that tends to be pretty strong, and she's a skull spammer that does that. But if you're not planning on farming souls anytime soon, Ferris Raw doesn't really help too much. It only helps when you finally decide, okay, I'm going to go and sit down and farm souls till no end. Because to really get value out of Ferris Raw, you got to farm souls for like 30 to 50 plus hours straight. Or obviously not straight, but you know, at whatever point you do it at, you can split it up, obviously. But you don't have to do it all in one session, obviously. But you know, you need to farm quite a bit to actually get your value out of Ferris Raw. Whereas Wild Queen, you can just use it here and there, and you can still get her full value. Even if you literally just use her for Guild War, you're probably still getting the full value out of her, and nothing else. Though she is usable for a couple other things. And that's one of the slight issues with Ferris Raw. While it is exceedingly quick at increasing the rate of souls you get, it's not really used for anything else. Its damage is kind of clunky. And while it can one-shot in some things, one-shotting with its ability, not only does it have setup, but it's very slow, the pacing of the battle. And you normally don't use him as a offensive option. You kind of just use him simply just plop it there, get some free souls, keep repeating to get a bunch of free souls more than normal, and just speeds it up. Because nothing you wouldn't already be able to do, Ferris Raw would help you with. Like everything he does, you are already capable of doing, just at a slower rate. Whereas Wild Queen actually lets you do new things that you weren't previously able to. Like get super high scores for Guild Wars and the few little unique skull spam things that she can do, particularly in heavily green-oriented teams. Not really, she's not using pure green though. She can be, of course, for Guild War. But normally 2 greens are best. Like her with like Leprechaun is normally enough green on the team, more often than not. Plus Leprechaun is +1 green, which helps even more. Because even if you don't have the banner set, you still at least have the little extra bit off the trait on Leprechaun itself. Let's see, we'll throw that down. If anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Because once we go get this final chest, we'll probably call it a night for now. And first thing I'll do tomorrow is cover the new Mythic. And then we'll have a stream going over Bounty Hunter tomorrow. I'll probably starting around noon or so, noon Eastern Standard Time. I might start a little bit earlier, but I'll have it up probably around then. And we'll go from there. Let's see. Also, I advise not going for the Mythic tomorrow. If any of you didn't hear it earlier, do not go for the Mythic. It is really bad. You can make that judgment yourself tomorrow as well, but it's probably worth skipping. Unless you have more than half the Mythics in the game, I would just skip this Mythic. And the reason why you might want to go for it if you have more than half is just so you guarantee get one that you don't own. Because, of course, you'd have a higher chance of getting one. If you're just opening random keys, you have a higher chance of getting a Mythic you already own rather than a new one. So sometimes it's better just to take a guaranteed horrible Mythic that you don't own rather than a repeat of a Mythic that you do. Because technically a repeat Mythic is, in many times, more useless than a useless Mythic. As weird as that may sound. But a repeat of a good Mythic, when you don't need more than one copy of it, is pretty much worse than getting a copy of a completely useless Mythic. Because at least that completely useless Mythic counts towards Kingdom upgrading. Whereas the repeat does essentially nothing at all. unless it happens to be one of the few good repeats. Like Ferris Raw is okay to get a repeat of. Catris can be okay to get a repeat of. There's a really small table of them. I think there's like 6 or so mythics that are actually semi-useful to have a second of, but a good majority of them do not run more than one. Anyways, any other questions, anyone? Let me know, let me know. Let's see, you're in the process of leveling, oh, what was the previous question? Oh, never mind, I already said that one. You're in the process of leveling classes, and you don't have any mythics. Like with Wild Queen, you're grinding to get a little of everything. What's the best way to go about it? For what? Just leveling up your hero classes? If you keep a really low rating in PvP, the strategy I did for a lot of my later levels was to go to casual PvP and go to the 1 trophy battles and keep repicking until you get a very weak battle. This works most effectively if your rating is at around 500 to 600, which is right now, or, you know, like the 500, 700 range, somewhere in there. And this allows you to repick generally really weak battles like this, which have basically no stats that you can easily kill out with like a Rowan team or something similar. This gives you 2 XP instead of 1, and gives you an overall quicker class XP rate than Explore. It's slower on hero XP, but it gives higher class XP, and of course class XP is the one that is used to actually level up your hero class. The reason for this is the XP rate is the same for hero, however the class XP is doubled. You get 2 class XP per battle in PvP, whereas in something like Explore you only get 1. So for that reason, even though the battles are ever so slightly slower here, because you have to repick to try to find really low stat ones like that over and over again, it's technically quicker because you're getting 2 per battle rather than 1. So yeah, it's pretty good. The other alternative is just go to a really low level Explorer, put it to like Explore 3 or whatever you want to do it on. Explore 1, Explore 2, Explore 3, generally around that range. Whatever the highest you can easily consistently 100% of the time one shot is what you would do of these 3. It doesn't really matter which one. They all give the same class XP. They'll give you 1 class XP each time, and you just keep spamming that over and over and over again with like a quick kill Rowan that we use for everything. It's just basically Rowan with a Mirage Queen and Leprechaun and whatever hero class first slot that you want. And obviously you do that hero class with whatever you're trying to level. The weapon does not matter at all as long as it doesn't block Rowan. And you just keep leveling up whatever hero class there. And also every hero class in the game fits with that team, which is pretty nice. So regardless of what you need to level, you will be able to do it for either section. And those are basically the 2 main methods to get class XP. The Explore method is quicker for hero XP, but slower for class XP. And the one for PvP is quicker for class XP and slower for hero XP. However, generally, if you just want class XP, which is the one where you need to go get all those perks unlocked, you know, like the level 40 perk, 70 perk, 100 perk, doing casual PvP would be the better bet. But it does require your rating to be low. Otherwise, you could do a lot of repicks until you find a weak battle. Since ours is so low, we found 3 weak battles in a row. Let's see, can we get 4? No, we got 3 in a row. But it makes it much easier to be able to find weaker battles. Whereas, like right there, we only had a 3 gap between finding another one. But at a higher level range, you tend to get really high battles here. So you can't get lower battles as often. It works best when you can get lower battles here. And so if you already did some PvP this week, you'd probably have to wait till next week to properly grind out for it. In which case, you'd probably just want to do Explore. But if you can keep your PvP rating at 500 to 700 on a given week, it is super quick doing casual 1 trophy PvP battles. And specifically casual because it costs only 50 gold to repick, whereas normal PvP requires 1 gem, which is too much. Like even something like this, depending on your stats, you can one-shot. They're pretty low. I forget what the threshold is for mine. I think I can one-shot, depending on the thing, up to about 6,000 or 7,000 or so. But generally, these are the ones you're looking for, the really weak ones that will definitely die in one-shot, even if you have lower stats. But anyways, any other questions, anyone? Let me know. Explorer 1 stops giving class XP at a certain level. Wait, does it? I never noticed. We'll just do Explorer 2 then. Does it really? I don't think it would have a threshold for that. I never noticed. But Explorer 2 and 3 definitely never stop giving you class XP. I don't think Explorer 1 ever would, though. I've never seen that happen. Like, I could probably do it with my max Sorcerer right now and still get XP. Let me check. Oops, I just claimed my tribute. I clicked on it on like the exact time that it would have given me tribute. That's funny. But I don't know. Let me go try it real quick. I'm pretty sure it still gives you XP, even if you do Explore 1. We have a max tier class right now. It should still give me 1 XP. I don't think it ever stops. It should. It shouldn't. Oh, good. We got a gnome out of it. But yeah, I can go show it right now. We should still get 1 XP. I don't think it ever stops at any point. Let's see. Yeah, 1 sorcerer class XP. We still get it. And we also got the useless mech gnome drop. But yeah, Explorer 1 always gives you 1 XP. Would a key team be best, or should you use the Wild Queen or to do the PvP? To do the PvP, you would do a quick kill Rowan, the exact team that we're just using. Well, maybe not exact, but you use almost exact. You use whatever hero class. Oh, wrong team. So the team that you use is any weapon in first slot. Doesn't matter what it is. Just make sure it doesn't block Rowan. Followed by Rowan, Leprechaun, Mirage Queen. +2 blue, +1 yellow banner. Or sorry, +2 blue, +1 green banner. And specifically that banner, because it gives you +2 blue, +2 green total between his other green, which allows you to do 4 times or 5 times full mana Rowan, which goes super quick. Weapon is completely irrelevant as long as it doesn't block Rowan. It can be literally anything, doesn't matter what it is. And whatever your class is, what you're trying to level, and you do that for quick kill. And you do the same thing for the PvP one as well. You don't change it up at all. Wild Queen would be too short. Or, I mean, not too short, but too slow, I mean. For that method. Wild Queen can win battles like that within about 15 to 20 seconds, whereas Wild Queen would take closer to like 30 seconds, even at lower level difficulties. You'd want to use a quick kill team, which is generally in the current state of the game, just a quick kill Rowan, which is anything in first slot as hero, Rowan, Leprechaun, Mirage Queen. How are you doing with epic ingots versus epic weapons? I've already maxed out every weapons for a couple months now. We actually have them for quite a while now. There's probably a few weapons that recently came out that I forgot to go bother upgrading. But we have every single weapon in the entire game maxed as far as being able to if we wanted to. Let's see, let's go search by upgradable. Probably have a bunch of random items here I've been forgetting to upgrade. But yeah, this is where epics are currently at. We're at 806, make that 770. But yeah, we maxed out every epic weapon in the game. I lied. We have 2 more left. Well, these are all the newer ones, which is why they're not upgraded. All the ones that have been coming out through those weekly kingdom thingies. But yeah, we're currently sitting at 700 epic ingots, basically. With every single epic weapon in the game max. Officially, as of right now. But yeah, we've maxed out every weapon in the game except for Mang, which I'm deliberately not maxing. And the Doom weapons, because there's not enough scrolls without spending absurd amount of gems to actually efficiently level them. Also, we haven't gotten a Doom event in ages. Our next Doom event is between the 2 events, which means if they're going to keep it like that, there's going to be an 11-week gap between Doom events. We basically only get one once every 3 months, essentially. Almost. It's like once every 2.5 months or so. Somewhere around there. But yeah, once every 11 weeks. Which is a really huge gap. It's been... By the time we get our next Tower of Doom, due to where the previous one fell, I think we would have went 12 or 13 weeks without a Tower of Doom. They said they were going to do one midway through the event, but then never did on a weekend event. Because we're already past the midway point of course, the campaign. So I'm not sure exactly what the ordeal is with that, but this is a very slow rate for those. So I'm not sure what exactly the plan is on their end. What do the hearts in the guild roster mean? It means that they spent money for one of those packs, which allows them to give donations and stuff. I don't believe my guild has it because most people don't generally do it like every single week. They might on occasion. I don't think I have one. Oh, no, I do have one. So this basically right here means Azala bought the this pack right over here, this $5 pack, which gave her an Orb of Clans, 10,000 gold, and 4 guildmate gifts. And guildmate gifts give your guildmates 25 gems. These aren't really that worth it for the most part. Especially once you have VIP 6, if you happen to have, you can actually buy these with gems without having to use real currency. The bigger pack is somewhat okay, but of course it's $20, so you'd have to burn through a decent little handful of money to do that, though. It's generally not really needed, but that basically just means that they... Oh yeah, Isabel did as well. Yeah, Isabel and Azala are normally the main 2 that generally throw it down if they're going to throw it down. That's not my guild. But yeah, that's basically what that heart means. Oh, she actually went for the max pack too. No wonder why she's been handing out gems. Thank you. She gifted me one earlier. But yeah, that's what that means. You can see Azala bought a tier 1, and Isabel bought a tier 3. It just means they bought those packs on the given week. That's basically what that heart means. Or exactly what that heart means. The tier 1 heart means that they bought tier 1. The tier 2 one is the $10 tier 2 one. And the other one is the $20 tier 3 one with the big gold heart thingy. But that's all that heart little thing means. It used to be more relevant because that means they gave like guild seals to everyone in your guild. Now it basically just means they have a bunch of guildmate gifts. Which reminds me, how many guildmate gifts do I have these days? I've never actually bought in a single one. Every single one I have is from the... oh gosh, I forgot to claim my seals. There we go. All the ones I have. Good thing I did so because we need to have 40,000 before tomorrow. Pretty sure our guild already hit it, but just in case. What was I doing? I was checking guildmate gifts. Let me go give one to Isabel. Here we go, Isabel, have one. You gifted me one earlier. Here you go. I'm sure she'll probably give one to Izala as well. She gave me one earlier. Just giving them back what they gave to me. But there we go. Okay, we used up 2 of them. But basically, whenever I do that, it gives 25 gems, and we have 12 left, which means I can gift 300 gems to my guildmates. Or sorry, I did the math on that wrong. No, I did that right. Never mind. 300 gems. So yeah, I can gift 300 gems to my guildmates with those 12 things. And you can either buy them or they occasionally show up on offers, which is where all mine are from. You could buy them on offer for pretty good value, actually. However, it only shows up if you have VIP 6 or higher, unfortunately. But anyways, guys, any other questions? Otherwise, yeah, tomorrow we got a lot of stuff to go over. We'll be doing the Mythic in the morning. We'll do the Bounty Hunter on stream. And yeah, that's pretty much everything we have going on. And then we'll go from there. We'll have a pretty normal stream tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We might mention the Mythic a little bit, but it's very useless, so there's not too much to go over in that regard. We might run with it like once or twice. Maybe we'll find some kind of weird team that's okay for it, but we'll see how it goes. Who knows? Maybe I'll get 2 of it randomly when I open like 50 of them within our first 50. How many souls would a 4x Ferris Raw team receive? It depends on your bonuses. It's around 800 in the current state of the game. However, it depends on how many VIP bonuses you have. But you can't do Warlord difficulty anymore. Warlord 4 difficulty doesn't exist. It used to do over 1,000 when it did. It could actually break past the 1,000 barrier. However, Warlord 4 difficulty does not exist in any other capacity in the current state of the game. So it is impossible to run it for that. And without it, I believe it's closer to 700 to 800, give or take a little bit based on VIP bonus. What was the other question? As for spending money in the game besides the armor, what would you say is the best investment? Generally, the better flash offers, particularly ones that have like the vault keys in them. Other than that, probably the absolute best thing to put it into if you're looking to spend it super slowly over time is the battle pass system. This battle pass that we had this time around is not the greatest. However, next month's or next season's is probably going to be much, much more buffed compared to the one that we have this time around. So going forward, those battle pass things every 11 weeks are probably going to be one of the best ways to slowly spend money on the game. It's also a very slow way to spend money on the game because it's less than $1 a week, because you're spending $1 a week for 10 weeks and then have a week off of spending nothing. So it basically comes out to $1 a week, a little bit less theoretically, in the sense that there's 1 week of downtime. But that's probably one of the better ones currently within the state of the game. But there are a few flash offers here and there. I normally mention if they're good or not. Most flash offers not the greatest though, but there are a couple of them that can be worth it. Yeah, sometimes good $5 weapons can be worth it too. However, most $5 weapons that you see in those flash offers that appear in the top left are ones that you can already get via other means. The only $5 weapons that you can't get by other means, however, they're all useless, are the ones that are over here if you're doing it for like collection purposes. Like for example, Staff of Madness actually isn't that bad, though it's still useless. It's the least it's actually the least useless of all of the $5 weapons, as far as the ones that are only available for $5 and no other way, shape, or form currently in the state of the game. But there are 34 or so weapons that are actually $5 locked that at one point, like 4 or 5 years ago, were obtainable for free. However, are not anymore. I got them all for free, but they cost quite a bit of money now to get them all if you're a collector of trying to get them all. But this one was one that wasn't as bad because it's kind of like Black Manacles except without the Devour, but it covers different colors. It's, I believe, the only red-purple weapon in the game that's full AoE that doesn't do damage based on half of its magic. I'm not sure why, but they made almost every red-purple AoE weapon do go by basically half its magic. However, there was one weapon that was not changed to that regard, and it was Staff of Madness. But yeah, Staff of Madness it's okay to go for. It's not like a good weapon. You would very rarely ever touch it. But as far as the $5 only weapons, actually, I believe is currently the best $5 only weapon. This and Crescendo, I'd probably say, are the 2 strongest $5 only weapons. Weapons that are obtainable for $5 and no other way in the current state of the game. However, the $5 weapons that you normally see in Flash Offer, like if they're right over here in this little section, those aren't necessarily always $5 weapons. However, you can find really good weapons there, like a Doomed Glaive or Doomed anything. Or, you know, the really good Doom weapons as far as the ones that do like full AoE into Doom Skull Convert. So for those really good ones, it could be considered worth going for $5, but it really just depends. Is there any troop with Perpetual? Perpetual, Brownstorm, or Hero Class. No. Nothing has Perpetual Brownstorm in the game. However, Mountain Crusher and Harpy Mage, while they don't have Perpetual Brownstorm, effectively give you a Perpetual Brownstorm. They don't directly have Perpetual Brown, but they, in effect, essentially give it to you once you get them rolling, because they'll get their mana back to max before the Brownstorm ever ends. However, they don't actually have a Perpetual Brownstorm attached, so you're not always going to get immediately the Brownstorm every single time. But no, Harpy Mage and Mountain Crusher are the two closest things to it. It's why Mountain Crusher is actually so strong in the current state of the game as well, because there isn't like an alternative for Perpetual Brown if you need Perpetual Brown. So no, there is not a troop that currently does it, but Mountain Crusher and or Harpy Mage effectively do it, even though they don't directly do it. They're the closest thing we have to that mechanic currently within the game. Plus they get a bunch of explosions for a bunch of mana. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. I'll see you guys soon. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Best of luck if you will be trying for the Mythic. However, I do advise not trying for the Mythic because it is pretty bad unless you just need it for completionist purposes. If you're getting it to actually use it, don't. Because it's not good unless they're buffing it between now and then. It looks pretty bad. But we'll go over that tomorrow. Go over some teams as far as what is at least somewhat usable for. Probably more so geared towards early game, just so in case someone randomly gets it earlier in the game. And because it actually wouldn't be too bad in early game, actually. It's just later in the game, it'd probably be underwhelming. And other than that, we'll go be going over Bounty midway through tomorrow on stream. Is it worth to save your orbs of Ascension for Zugoff? I would generally say yes. And the main reason for that is if you're going for full completion on the game, Zugoff, it takes forever to farm. It takes like a year and a half, 2 years. Realistically, unless you like really focus it down with orbs or get lucky. It takes around a year to 2 years to really effectively actually farm for a Zugoff. Or obviously over time, you're not like constantly farming the whole time. It's like a slow process over time due to how orbs come into the game generally. Of course, you can speed it up a little bit with Vault events, but it's a long process to get to that point. And for that reason, it is best to start as early as you can. Mostly because it will help you get progress towards it. And Zugoff is rather meta in the current state of the game. He's one of the best instant kills in the game. Has a great burn freeze into Skull Spam, which works really good for him to make sure they don't get your turn back, as well as be able to hit them very hard with like a triple damage hero. So he's pretty decent in the current state of the game. And I would advise working towards him. So yeah, I would save every major blue ever that you ever get pretty much for Zugoff. I feel like it's worth it in the current state of the game. It's a long process to farm him. He's one of the hardest things in the entire game to actually obtain. But I would say that the process is worth it for how decent he is in the current state of the game. And even like a year or 2 years from now, he's still very likely to be strong. I highly doubt he would ever become a completely useless troop ever again. He was at one point, but then when he left the cap of his cast, he became much, much stronger, since no longer would you only be able to cast him once. Now you can cast him as every single kill now, if you really had to, which made him quite a bit more effective than what he was before. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. See you guys tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Bounty Hunter, new Mythic, and hopefully we'll farm a little bit more tokens too, if we'll have the time. But anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it as always. See you guys soon. Best of luck on the Mythic if you're going for it. Best of luck on Bounty Hunter, because that's somewhat luck-based if you actually get anything good out of it as well. It normally gives positive value, but it is possible not to. And, of course, the main thing you're looking for is major blues and major purples when that does happen. But anyways, guys, I'm heading to bed. Catch you guys soon. Thanks for stopping